Hello everybody, this is your boy, the Almighty Green Talents, coming to you with a video. But before I get right into this video, please comment, like, share, subscribe, notification bell on top of the video. And don't forget to give me the thumbs up when the video is complete, after you are through viewing it, because the comments is what matter and the thumbs up also what majorly matters. So please don't forget to give me the thumbs up, and don't forget to make sure that whoever watching my video to sub the channel, because the channel, when you sub it, I'm able to make these great videos for you guys to enjoy and to put it out here in social media land for your viewing pleasure. Okay, let's get right into it. After I got through watching the video by Philly Mike, and he brought up a point about the strengths of teams and for a position concern. The positions that he bought, two positions rather, he brought up the strengths. Which is the strongest of the Eagles now? Is it the offensive line or the defensive line? Okay, let me break it down to you right quick. The reason why I'm gonna pick one of the position or both. The Eagles have lost two major players on offense and on defense and offense, respectively. They lost an offensive guard by the name of Isaac Salamalu, I think that's his name is. It's a guy that was a guy who the Eagles have drafted, but he had some injury concerns early in his career, and he wound up playing up to his potential the last two seasons of his career. The Eagles at the time had the best offensive line in football, still do, but they do have some pieces that they have to figure out who's gonna play the position that was once occupied by Salamalu when he left via free agency, which is now with the in-state rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who signed him to a 4-year contract, a big contract that the Eagles weren't going to be able to give him that big deal. So he got that contract with Pittsburgh, and I'm more than happy for him. But the Eagles drafted some players, and they got one guy who playing the position, and that is the center Jurgens, who's going to take the guard position. But Salamalu was 6'4", this guy is 6'3". So that's going to be an interesting concept as to who is the best at that position at that particular time. They also drafted Tyler Steen, who also from Alabama, who's a right guard, but they put him at right tackle, but they put him at guard, and he did okay with the position, but they gave the position to Jurgens. So, with that being said, they get to the defensive line. The Eagles lost one guy on defense, and that was, they lost two. They lost Hargrove, the best defensive tackle the Eagles have ever had. He was a pass rushing defensive tackle who had issues against the run. He couldn't stop the run for nothing, but he was pretty good at stopping the pass. He's now gone to the 49ers, who we played this season, but they brought in Jalen Carter, who is going to take over at the position at the time, and he's going to do his diligent work as to what happens and as to what's going forward and what is going to happen as far as his position. So now we got to figure out what happens there. And so Jalen Carter was drafted, and then they drafted Davis the following season. The season before, and he did extraordinarily well. And so injury plagued him, and he didn't play no more than a year because the Eagles brought in two defensive tackles to take his position and his snaps. And so then Carter come. So Carter, to me, in my opinion, is a better defensive tackle, because he can play all four spots. He can play inside and outside because of his pass rushing abilities. This guy can also stop the pass and he can stop the run. So he's a multitasking defensive tackle, while Jordan Davis is more of a run stuffer. But if teams continue to double up on Carter, then that's going to leave one-on-ones with Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis should get some sacks this year. I expect Jordan Davis to get about 6 to 7 sacks this season, which would be a career high for him, and probably a career high for an Eagle defensive tackle anyway. So like I said, we lost CJ Gardner-Johnson, but this is not about him. This is about what position is which is offensive line or is it defensive line. We're gonna get that rectified right now. So which position is better? I mean, which line is better, the defensive line or the offensive line? Well, I'm going to go with defensive line, and here's why I say defensive line. When you lose Hargrove and you bring in a Jalen Carter, a rookie who people are expecting to be rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year, this guy has more speed upfield than Hargrove does. Hargrove just one gap tackle that goes up and get to the quarterback. But Jalen Carter can get to the quarterback and get to the run game. So I'm going with defensive line here. And offensive line this year is probably second best because of the rebuild formation. They got to figure out who's who. It's easy to place a player on defense than it is to put a player on offense. Everybody knows that. So with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, both guys from University of Georgia, who can man the field like this, we're gonna be a terror. And then you got then you got what's his name? Then you got Fletcher Cox, and you got Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat on that defensive line. I'm going with defensive line this year. This defensive line should be way much better than it was last year. You know, we was top 5 ranked defensively. The Eagles defense should be top 5 ranked again this season, and should get somewhere close to 70 sacks. I don't think the Eagles are going to get 70 sacks this year. They may get somewhere between 50 to 60 sacks, depending on who get the most sacks overall. If the Eagles have 3 players, because last year the Eagles had 4 players in double-digit sacks. If the Eagles can get 3 players in double-digit sacks this season, that would be phenomenal. And so Brandon Graham might have a double-digit sack again this season, based on his playing time. I bet Jordan Davis to get, like I said, I bet him to get 6 or 7 sacks this year. Carter can get double-digit sacks, and Josh Sweat can get double-digit sacks. So you're looking at 3 or 4 players that get double-digit. You can get 3 players that get double-digit sacks this season. So that's gonna be a phenomenal year. Then you might have some linebackers who might get some sacks this year. They may get 2 or 3 or 5 for that matter. So it depends on how Sean decides to use this defense. It depends on how he uses it, and then we're gonna make the defensive unit very, very great. So we got some ways to go. This defensive line is gonna be good for years to come. This offensive line is gonna be good for years to come, based on free agency and who they bring in through the draft. So we see how that works out. But anyway, this is your boy, the Almighty Green Titan, signing out. You guys enjoy your Friday, because I'm gonna enjoy mine. And I had to make this video right away because that's a pretty good debate. That's a very good debate. Very good debate. Defensive line, which is better? Defensive line, offensive line. I gave you my perspective, I gave you my analysis, and I also gave you my retrospect as to who's better. I named players and also named positions. So that should give you some idea of where I stand as far as best overall. Defense, offense. Enjoy your Friday. And I'm out of here. Peace.